Yeah, those people reach out to me. Actually, I got an OnlyFans when I posted my cameo. I'm like, excuse me? It says cameo. When you get OnlyFans.
I don't know what content you putting out there now, buddy.
Oh my goodness. It's hilarious.
Super feet God.
Super feet God.
I knew it.
That sounds like a thing, man.
It does
sound it. Super
like
feet God.
That is hilarious.
How do you think he funds this entire project of being a content creator and having every variant? It's like, no problem. This one was bought by my pinky toe.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 90 of the Marvel Snapcast. We got a crazy one for y'all today. We're going to talk character mastery is here, y'all. OTAs. We're going to review Thunderbolt Ross. We're going to have preview for Redwing. We got our Black History Month spotlight, none other than Smooth Out, and our expectations for the new Cap movie. You heard? I am your co-host, the top 5 best snappers in the world. Cino, because I snapped that hot fire, you heard? And I got your other co-host, the SuperTechGod, because he got every variant in the game. Every variant? Every variant. And I got your other co-host, the king of the Epic Sax Party, the brainiac of the crew, none other than It's Guest Gaming. And we are here with our special guest, like we said before, Smooth Out. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This time. Welcome in, guys.
That's a fucking intro. That is a fucking
man.
Do you need a cigarette after that? Jesus, man. Like,
he's already good for all that. He's got all the smoke. He's got all the smoke right now.
I'm on a roll. I'm going to keep rolling.
There you go.
I'm going to keep going.
I have to introduce myself. Guests didn't have to say he's a Mr. Sax of the morning. We good to go. I love that. All right, perfect. We'll keep that energy going. We'll talk about character mastery. Finally has arrived last week. We did preview it with the one and only It's Guest Game. If you guys did not see the video, we have a link down below. Guest explaining the entire layout for character mastery, how it works, what it does, and he has some phenomenal cameos in there.
This is true.
Lauren Whatevs and myself. Definitely go check out that video. You won't be disappointed. But let's go ahead and talk about character mastery. We're gonna go around the room, starting with our guest, the one and only Smooth Up. Smooth, how do you feel about character mastery thus far?
Honestly, I love it. I think it's a nice way to reward the people who have been playing this game nonstop, have created various variants and want to showcase their own particular style. It's given us a lot more variety in terms of what we can do with these cards. For myself, though, I was expecting a little bit more, but I'm happy that they brought it out. You can really get so creative and showcase your cards, your top variants, and really get out there and make yourself feel and look unique when you're out there battling on the field. So I'm happy that they brought it out there. I'm not sure how I feel about all the variants. Like, I don't know what they're doing with some banana splits, but hey, you know what? I think I just figured out why they put it in there. Banana splits.
Yeah.
It took you that long?
It took me that long.
Damn.
I looked at it. And I wasn't impressed, but now when I said it, it just dawned on me.
I would just
There you go.
There you go. So it's cool, man. It's cool, and they're giving us what we want, and that's very important.
I'm glad to hear that. Awesome response. My response, guys, I'm actually making a video. You guys are going to see it early next week. I want to give it a full week of doing some phenomenal mastery, messing with it, playing with it. Pause, of course. I have every variant in the game. So I want to take my time before I give it my final verdict on it. So make sure you guys go ahead And you know, you see no love when I say things, but I'm not gonna get it. Make sure you guys
don't say that. Don't bring it up.
Sino loves when you say things. That's you speak some deep words, my friend. Really, just like damn,
1,000%.
This is the same guy that thinks about me and guess when he sees soft butter on.
Yes, we talk about the soft butter. We could talk about soft butter in a minute.
Pause.
So, like I said, you guys are gonna get my final verdict in my full video review coming up this week.
I can't wait to feel that.
Yes. Sino, how do you feel about character mastery?
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was very excited and I was loving it for about 10 minutes. And then it became the same thing. You know what I mean? Like I love the new aspect to it. I just thought that the splits, you know what I mean, that you do would be a little bit more involved in the leveling up and stuff like that. But I guess it's more of the rare variants that you have and stuff like that. So it's like I'm not trying to be too hard on them, but it feels a little like a money grab, just a tad bit, like just to give you extra incentive to go and buy those rare and ultimate variants and stuff like that. So, but I do love the like backgrounds. It's different. It's something to decorate your cards. It got a little silly with the bananas. I agree with that. But other than that, like the psychedelic, there was a lot of cool things that they implemented into it. And I really like that aspect. If the splits could take more precedence in it, if you could just give a little more value to how many times you split a card or use the card, I think it would feel a little bit better. But and then the repetitiveness, it felt like every time I was just getting the same thing because they're at the same level, so you're gonna only get the same, same awards. Okay. So it just felt like maybe a little more randomness, maybe a little more something different every time, so I wasn't clicking and just seeing the same, just to get my excitement up. You know what I mean? Because it'd be something different. It just gives you that different feeling. But it was cool. It was cool. We were almost to where I would have been like, this is great. But like, it was just cool. It was all right.
You giving it a goal?
Giving it a goal. I'm giving it a goal. I'm giving it a goal. You know what? A double goal. It's not platinum, but I'll give it a double goal. You know?
All right. Guess. I know you had your fill with it. So.
Yeah.
So you tell me.
All right. So let's take a breather, everybody, because I mean, right now we've put out a lot of energy as well to kind of start the podcast. So everyone take a deep breath. Audience as well, take a deep breath.
Nice.
Banana split. See, there we go. Okay, there. Now, for real though. Okay, so as awesome as it was, and I've had access to it obviously for quite some time because of doing the video. So I've gotten to tinker around with it and did a lot of filming for it. Whatever. Within my own account, obviously there were opportunities in regards to people wanted a claim all button. I hate to say it, but I mean, it's a one-time interactive feature. It took you 15 minutes to click on through. Oh no. Or you just do it progressively and just leave it alone whenever you get your next variant. It happens. Like, don't worry. That's fair. You'll forget to have to do it ever again once it's done. So just get it over with and then it's done. So in that aspect, I hear that conversation a lot. I want to claim all button. It doesn't make any sense to give one. You want to see what you get. Outside of that, in my own collection, now I'm not a beta player like Tech. Smooth, were you a beta player?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't? Okay. I was right after global launch, and I think you were as well, Sino, right? Yeah. Okay, so three of us are.
I was on launch, the day on launch.
Okay.
I was on launch as well.
You were on launch? Okay, I was like a month after launch, right? And we've all been playing a long time. I've got a pretty well-invested collection, not, Ken level, but I'm almost at 30K collection score. I've spent a lot of time in the game, upgraded a lot of cards, gotten quite a bit. When I saw that I only had one card mastered after 2 years of investment, I was shocked, to be honest. And after watching
and shocked, right?
No, not disappointed. I'll get there. Hold on. Not disappointed, but just shocked. Okay. Because I know as a creator, I try a bunch of different decks, right? I mix and match. Some weeks I'm playing discard, some weeks I'm playing destroy, some weeks I'm investing into a split for personal reasons, whatever. My collection is spread out all over the place, right? So I wasn't disappointed. I kind of expected it to a degree. but I just hoped I would have had others, built up further. For those who have been playing, a dedicated deck, we'll call it, like, hey, you're a destroy player. You've got all these like inked splits on your favorite destroy deck and whatever. Those people weren't even maxing out their stuff either. And then I was like, all right, it's all going to come down to tech. I'm going to need to see how many full mastered cards, the guy who has every variant in the game, how many fully mastered cards will there be? And tech, we all, for those who were there in the chat that day, we all took a poll and just prediction and said, how many will it be between, 0 to 10, 10 to 20? I guessed 70 plus, and there's over 280 cards right now in the game or something 70? Like that. I guessed over 70.
70, yeah.
He had 19.
No, 19. 21.
Oh, sorry, 21. My apologies. 21. It was 21. 21 was the final number. 21 on launch. And I know you brought up a couple because you wanted to, but on launch, on launch, it was 21. And for someone who's got that much invested into the game, I was floored. Absolutely floored. The whole chat was that way too. And what it spoke to me, was kind of what Sino's feeling, which is that Mastery ended up launching a little bit under what people may have expected from a performance standpoint, not from an artistic standpoint. From a performance standpoint, people who have spent time splitting their card 20 times are being rewarded the same as Joe Blow, who happened to open 3 super rare variants of that card. So the weight, to me, after being in it in my own account, watching other accounts, and Ken, I am now of the personal belief that the weighting of splits is the only thing I don't like about character mastery at this point. I think that after doing all the math and sitting down, because I wanted to figure out, like, I wanted to come with a resolution, because people want to complain about, like, I've spent so much time or da-da-da. Look, 15 XP per split is so low. That's the same as a pixel variant. It needs to be split, I'm sorry, 5 times. That's 7,500 credits worth to put into a card. Why would I have 70? Right. I'd split that card to 7,500 plus credits. But when you equate that to gold, that's over like 5,000-6,000 gold.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Versus a 700 gold pixel variant, it progresses you the same on the mastery track. That was the thing I when I put that together in my head, I'm like, that's the only major problem I have. So my solution is that I wish, because they can implement this and it would be able to go active in everybody's accounts, would be to up the XP from 15 to 25, have it be on par with a split. And the reason I say that is because of the amount of investment that goes into it. When you split a card, you put in 1,500 credits. That would be the same as 1,200 gold. So 1,200 gold is a super rare variant, or you could put that much into a split of a rare variant. So either way, it moves you up 75 points in the track.
Yeah, I was just saying, okay, so either way,
it moves you equilaterally that way. So I would love to see that, because I have 10, if I've got a card that I've really cared about and I've split it 10 times, that's 150 XP right now versus 250 XP, which could move me up an extra 2 to 3 ranks, depending on where it is, 2 to 3 ranks on the XP track. And that alone, like when I look at my own collection, I could literally move up 7 more cards to full mastery.
And that feels
just
good.
by that change alone.
Like that.
And that just
feels good.
And it's the only thing I hope Second Dinner now reconsiders, because it is a big piece of feedback that we hear from the community, is that I've got this deck inked out or golded out, or I've split it so many times. How do I not have this card mastered? I think splits need to weigh more, because if it doesn't weigh even a fraction, even 20 XP, right? Even if it doesn't weigh a fraction more, those who have spent time to master the card, it doesn't matter compared to those who happen to obtain like the mastery we all have on Magneto. Think about it, right? We all have, like, as a community, if you never played Magneto, we've all gotten at least 6 to 7 different Magneto variants from Twitch drops, from holiday events, and they're all 125 XP each.
Right, and they all give you hot, exactly. Yeah.
So it's off. It's just to me, it's just off. That's the only thing I don't like about it, because we could talk about the art for days. The art is so fire. This art is fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Minus banana, but it's so fire.
Banana.
It's so fire. But if they just upped that XP a little bit more, I'd be very happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of dive into that on my review of the mastery as well, and I add some other things too, because I totally agree. And I took your chart that you showed me, and I discussed that too, with the Spider-Man and the Magneto, because it's like it doesn't add up, and your solution makes sense. I also want to throw something else out there that I'm going to mention in the video too. I'll mention it now as well. I know there's no way to retro do this, but we have to find a way that if somebody used a card X amount of times, that also helps move it up the track. Because I believe if you look at boosters and stuff we get for cards, again, go back to your statement you mentioned, guess somebody love Destroy, they play Destroy nonstop. It's not fair to them that a Magneto that they don't play at all is full level 30, but their Wolverine is
Carnage or something like that.
And they play a card nonstop, and they win with that card nonstop. I think somehow, I don't know how, but somehow, not retroly, maybe now going forward, something has to count for me being able to master this card or play with this card.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I 100% agree with that. Yeah. Playing the card should count towards mastering the card. That's part of it. It shouldn't be based on how many times you can split it. Correct. Yes, splitting is part of it, but you're using the card. You could be very good at using a specific card, and that should be taken into account of your mastery level. Yeah. Very much. I agree with that.
I'm gonna bring up what I brought up on the video so far, because I've been recording it throughout the way. My Sunspot, right? Big Sunspot Infinite. That's what I use nonstop throughout my going to Infinite. And even now playing it with Kang, my Sunspot is 25 level on the mastery track, which blows my mind because I show all the splits I have for Sunspot. But Deadpool, which I do not play Destroy, my Deadpool is full 30 level max. How is that possible? And I bring that down in the video, and that's what I want to talk about with you guys. Yes, I play Sunspot a lot. There should be something that says, hey, you play Sunspot, you win with Sunspot a lot. Sunspot should go up the collection track. But guess, let's hear your thing. We're not going to sit on character mastery too much. Guess, say your piece, and then we'll move on to the next topic.
All right. So I think the literally win-win solution to this is not doing something retroactive, first off.
Right,
I think
they can.
Amount of time previously invested into the game versus amount of boosters you chose to then put credits into is very different.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you.
What I do think they could do in some capacity is push out one of the hot location days and have it be some kind of mastery day. So that day specifically, if you want to, we've seen it before. We've seen those who are booster farming, right? You run into a deck. It's like, why are you playing Lizard with Uatu? What the hell's going on here? Clearly they're booster farming, right? So I think that we could take either the Sunday or the Wednesday. Probably the Wednesday, to be perfectly honest. Take the Wednesday, remove it from being a featured location day, and have it be a day where the deck that you play, in addition to getting boosters to one random card, you also get 1 XP. Literally, just 1 XP to that card that you also got boosters for after each game.
That's fine.
Because now, once a week, you can really, literally target farm, and you could hard grind, that deck or that card or that whatever. You're welcome. I know what I'm doing to make it like progress further. And this does 2 things to help the game. Number 1, it helps the community to have another resource to gain XP. And number 2, it helps Second Dinner because it increases play time by having people in the game more on a very specific day. You want to see people freak out? remove it from Sunday and put it on Monday. Why Monday? Because Monday is the least interacted day in Marvel Snap's week.
Yes, we are ready for the new card on Tuesday.
So second dinner, you hear me?
Yes.
Do it.
You guys, listen, you guys have the great ideas. Community's been speaking about it. Like I said, I can't wait to drop my video because we got to talk about it. And thank you guys for your
everybody's waiting on it, man, because they know you got the variants and they want to see what your
you got to see.
Chop, chop,
we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
the video is gonna get released. Don't you worry. All right. Now let's go into the OTAs that dropped today, ladies and gentlemen. These OTAs are special. Why are they special? Because some of these changes actually matter, right? We talked about this last OTAs, like, hey, we don't care about some of these OTAs, blah, 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 blah. These OTAs, however, I'm happy to see it. So we're going to go down the list. I'm going to ask you guys how you feel about it. We'll start with, of course, the first card that everyone, down to my cousin and my brothers, who reached out to me and said, this blasted card needs to get nerfed. And they've been complaining about it nonstop to me. Doom 2099, ladies and gentlemen, finally got touched. Pause. Okay? It is now.
No pause. It got touched.
I thought it got touched. There you go. Smooth out with me.
You
Doom 2099 was a 4-2. He's now 4-3. So you got a buff in power only because his Doom bots now go from a 4-2 to a 4-1. This is to help with that power creep that Doom bots do within the game. Doombot 2099 has become a very simple deck. I think I said it before on one of the podcasts that Doom 29 is easier than playing Hela back when Hela was old school Hela. I think you guys laughed at me when I said it. But look, it has happened because now Second Dinner understands that this is not fair. This list, Doom 29 has become that type of a list. You get it on turn 3. So if you Zabu it out or Psylocke, it's over. You're not winning. Unless you're playing negative, right? Unless you play negative against it or Sage. But in most cases, people aren't doing that. They're playing their normal, fun, happy-go-lucky decks, and Doom 2099 is just destroying it. And of course, you put it in Erisham, we're not even going to talk about it. Nonetheless, got nerfed, 4-2 to 4-1. Is it enough to help save the meta? Talking to Smooth App, how you feel about that?
I honestly haven't played this card. I have it, and I have not played with it. So this nerf, this buff is not going to affect me whatsoever. I haven't even got the chance to play with it. So I don't know necessarily what to think. But if it's gotten hit, that means it's definitely needed to, because it's attacking the meta in a way that it's got the attention of Second Dinner. So I'm very interested to see exactly how it's going to affect it, and how it's going to benefit the rest of you guys who use this card a lot. I automatically knew I had to get it. And I just had to make it more, because it just sounds like one of those cards that, you know, if you already have Doom, it's going to benefit from it. And it's always going to make your decks more powerful, especially with the Doom bots. I'm a ramp player, so this is kind of along my style. So I want to see what it is. Now, you said it plays on 3. That's according if you Zabu it. You
Zabu or Psylocke. Yeah, and then once you get on 3, it's over, right? Because then you can, on 4, play your big cards. 5, play your big cards. 6, play Doom. The whole board's filled, and Doom bots are just...
it just call all over. I got you, Sino. I saw you say 4. It's a 4 box. I saw you, Sino. Like, no. I heard you say Zabu it, so you definitely said Zabu it. So man, I got to get him out onto the battlefield and see what it is. But I've been playing Move a lot more, so I'm interested to see what your guys' take is on how this change is made him.
Sino, your take. You're muted, by the way.
He's just in awe. He's not muted. He's just in awe of
thinking about
this amazing thing that has happened. So while he picks his jaw up off the floor, I will tell you, because my jaw is currently attached. Oh, are you okay? Have you recovered?
I've recovered, but
okay, it's okay. Then fine. Go ahead. Speak while your jaw is currently reattached, please.
No, I'm gonna make it really simple too. I really didn't struggle with Doom, so it really didn't frustrate me enough to call for a change. So I really don't have no opinion on it either way. I think it was fine the way it was. But 4-1, I guess, okay, just take it down a notch, I guess. This game loves to take people's favorite card list down a notch, so why not?
I guess your take.
I personally, I know I got a lot of flack for it. I wanted this to go down to 4-1 across the board, including allowing it to be Ravona'd, because even at 4-1, when it gets ramped out, sure, that's great, but that 4-3 is really powerful. It's really, really powerful. The Ravona''s not the problem. It's still going to get Zabu'd. It's still going to get Psylocked. It's still going to try to get out early. So I wasn't really concerned about it because you're not playing Spectrum on turn 6. You're playing either Doom or Magneto more often than not. Maybe a Warhammer Infinite combo if you really want. So I was not upset to see 4-3 as someone who has played the card. However, a nerf is a nerf. Those Doom bots are definitely going to be, you're going to feel that difference if you've played this deck in any capacity. It's 1 power, but that 1 power in each lane and sometimes multiple in the same lane, definitely you will feel that. I think we're going to see a rise of Madam Web in these decks again, because allocating those 1 and 2 points is going to have a lot more control and a lot more need, because you could just let that extra power accumulate and you're not going to have to worry about it in most situations. But now that they're a little bit weaker and you want that one particular strong card out in certain places on certain turns, that's the synergy I see happening a lot more often, is a Madam Web going down, let's say in the center lane, and then you play the 4-3 in the center lane. So depending where the bots go, you can allocate the bigger power to the appropriate lane that you need it towards the end of the game. So that I could see happening because of this, because now those bots are weighted differently. But
so the more bots are on a location, the more power they get.
The more that are on that are on the board. So it doesn't have to be the same location. That's the thing that makes them so powerful. So, with Dr. Doom, with Dr. Doom also getting that synergy and all of those 6/5s getting the buffs, those are always going to be 6/18, 6/21, et cetera, over the whole board. But knowing where that 4-3 is going to go is super important. And the biggest lesson I want us to take out of this is that as of tomorrow, Smooth Op will officially be a Doom 2099 player, because he's now just realizing how good this card is.
Yeah, he loves ramps, so he will.
Yeah,
it's funny you said, because that's what my daughter says every time I change her diaper, because I used to go, So when you say it, it made me laugh.
Definitely.
So when I'm in the bathroom, she'd be like, I'm like, don't do that. Go away.
Yeah.
But yes, Doom 2099, the Doom bots used to be a 4-2 Smooth Op and give them +1 power. That shit was bananas. So I get it. The word of the day is bananas, guys. So I get it. It makes sense. It got nerfed. Now, we're going to talk about, we're going to do a little different, because we got a lot of people here. We got a lot of feedback of how we feel about these cards. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these cards I'm going to mention right now. We could talk about it all, because these 4 cards didn't really get too much of a change besides an increase and a decrease in power. Starting with, of course, Wiccan. Wiccan used to be a 4/7, which, again, a card I played a lot too. Giving +2 max energy was always great. Wiccan now is a 4/6 from a 4/7. Okay. Scorpion is a 2/3 from a 2/2. Still does the same thing, but now is a 2/3. Getting people to go ahead and play that card more. As we mentioned before, Second didn't always do that. 1 up or 1 down. 1 down, don't play the card anymore. 1 up, play the card more. Sunspot goes back to what he was many years ago. He's now a 1/1 versus a 1/0. Fantastic. We love it. And of course, Sarah, we spoke about it in the last podcast. That's so crazy. We're like, yo, Sarah don't get no love. Where's Sarah been? Sarah gets a buff. She goes back to her original beta days, being a 5/5. So again, across the board, guys, how you feel about these changes? Anything crazy?
I'm glad Sarah got a buff.
Yeah, she needs to get.
I'm glad Sunspot got a buff.
These are not buffs. These are all going back to the way they were.
Yeah.
Right.
Putting them
for the most part.
When you read it, they say, it's been a long enough time. There's enough cards out there that can do the same things or add some kind of competition and depth to them. So it's not the only way for you to lower cards on turn 5. So bringing Sarah back to her original power and Sunspot back to his original glory is fine. Now, I don't know about nobody not using Scorpion, but I can hear that all the time, boss. So,
I see Scorpion all the time, bro.
I see him way now. Maybe it's us down here in the depths of hell, are seeing Scorpion.
You guys will be Scorpion to death, because I don't see Scorpion at all.
On the higher ranks, Scorpion doesn't exist, but down here, No, so Scorpion is
the bot that he plays. God doesn't play Scorpion,
and of course, Wiccan going to a 4-6. Guess what? Everybody's still playing Wiccan. It's not going to stop it.
Yep.
No,
because nobody plays Wiccan for that 7 power. Nobody plays Wiccan because he gives you that +2 max energy.
I just think his ability is too strong, so they had to bring it down a peg. That's all.
Yeah, they want people to. Yeah, but it's just gonna happen. As long as they touch the energy, I think we should be okay.
But don't forget. Wait. You. How are you? No. Do not skip over the fact. Do not skip over the fact that we now have an actual chance for the first time in weeks, yet alone months, an actual chance to make Cerebro 5 happen.
With Sarah, yes, you're right. Cerebro 5, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's when cards get to that level. We always got to remember Cerebro 5, and you're absolutely right. Who's playing Cerebro 5? Only one person. You guys know who he is. That's the only person playing Cerebro 5.
Okay. He's the only one who cares about Cerebro. Everyone tries to give it a try, but
the same way. You see how all these wonderful cards are getting love? Infinite gets a buff. Nobody's going to say, who cares? They're going to say, the only person playing Infinite is Tech. So we be all right. Wait for Infinite to get his buff.
I don't know about all that.
I know everybody play. I'm just saying. But nonetheless, Surtur. This card has been wrecking shop since it came out.
As you should.
It took a little hide. It was kind of hiding for a little bit. Then it came back with all the other helping cards that it has. Surtur reminds me kind of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, because Blue Eyes White Dragon in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a very strong card. People kind of forget about it, and then when it gets
dance, I said, "Not my dance." No.
And then when the Blue Eyes White Dragon gets a lot of help, it comes back in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta and just wrecks shop. Surtur has been getting a lot of help lately, so they kind of had to tone it down. Surtur now is a 3/5, okay, and now it still gets its +3 if other 10 power cards are played. However, now it only happens twice a game. So we used to get Surtur to 13, right? Playing that last, whether it be Scar and something else on the last turn. We get him to 16 maybe, but we used to get him to at least a 13. Now he only gets to an 11 in power. Not too bad. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I think this didn't need to happen. I don't think it needed to happen.
Right.
But I want to hear your take. Yeah, how you feel about it, Smooth Out? Surtur, how do you feel?
Like I said, I play a ramp deck, so when I got Surtur, I was like, all right, let's go. Let's get Scar. Let's get She-Hulk in there. Let's get turn 7 going on in here and see how high we can get this. And he dominated. This is the guy who can destroy Asgard. This is the guy responsible for Ragnarok. He should be destroying decks. He should be destroying your teammates. Deal with it. It's Surtur. Deal with it. Right? So it's what to give him a little extra power and give him only 2 buffs. I mean, they're just trying to see what happens, right? To see if they can nerf this guy a little bit without nerfing his dominion over the realms, right? So I'll be interested to see what he was. I might throw him back in the deck and see if this is going to really make a difference. But I don't know. I don't think he really needed it. I would have preferred to just stay. I would have loved for them just to leave him alone. But we know that's not what Second Dinner is about doing. They're watching the game and they're just going to do or touch whatever they want. And they felt and reached out and touched this guy. So
there it is.
Pause.
Pause. You ain't pausing at all.
I ain't pausing. Touch that. Touch it. You want to touch it?
No. Absolutely not. I will not condone any of that.
Oh, man. Tino, how do you feel about Surtur's change, man?
I feel like I should have went first. That's what I feel like. You got me doing option that. What's going on, bro? No, I hate it. Hate it to death. Like I said earlier, they just gotta mess with people's card lists. They just gotta mess. As soon as something's really popular and really people like, oh, I love this. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you. Here you go. We're gonna bring it down a peg or two, and we're just gonna make it. It's not killing Surtur. Let's be honest. The 311 is not bad. You still take the 311, but the 313 was fire. You know what I mean? Like it was like Smooth Out said. It's supposed to be a powerful card. Like. The whole purpose that you put it out the way it was because you wanted the card to be good, not to be good for a little bit and then eventually fuck it up. But like, we do have to balance everything. I get that. I understand that. It's just, I feel like this was just unnecessary. Like they didn't need to go this far with this, but you know who I blame? I blame you, Surtur crybabies. Oh, say he's too strong. Change it. No, leave it alone, man. Leave it alone, you Surtur crybaby.
Deal with it, man.
Surtur has to finish
No, leave it alone, man.
You gotta finish the story.
Like, no, leave Surtur alone. We were having a good old time. We ain't say nothing about the Doom players or the Cerebro players. No, that's how I guess. But like,
good try.
We ain't say nothing. We let y'all have y'all fun. Let us have our fun. BDE, baby.
BDE, love it.
Yeah, I hate it.
How you feel about Surtur, man?
Like, look, I get, it's just because I don't think this ruins the deck in any capacity. I think that this is them also admitting that they need Scar to be a powerful card as well, because one of the biggest ways they could have adjusted this deck, if they were trying to target it specifically, was not create such an easy path for Scar to be a 0/10 to drop down on the final turn of the game. They specifically left it like this, so that way it still will trigger a 0/10 on the final turn. That's the biggest reason this deck is so difficult to interact with, is because you're dropping 2 10-powered cards on the final turn of the game at minimum, and sometimes 3 if you're really lucky. And that's the part that a lot of people are most upset about when playing against the deck, is the fact that you're putting 2 to 3 10-power cards all over the place, and they're behind Armor and Cosmo. So I can't Shang-Chi with it. Because of that, the problem has been that because you can't interact with it the way that you may want to or need to, there's really not much you can do. And because there's no real true hard counter for this type of deck, it presented the same problem that old Shuri Red Skull did, which was
Scorpion and Cassandra Nova done counted.
No, not Scorpion. I get it, but okay, Luke Cage.
Cassandra. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, Cassandra Nova, sure. But even with that, you still got an ungodly amount of 9-power cards coming down too. Call that what it is. I think that this deck was very difficult to interact with for most decks that needed to run a counter, whether it be Shang-Chi, whether it be Cassandra Nova. Sure, it takes off the Surtur ability and the ease of Scar, but you're still dropping 2 10s, 3, on the final turn very often. And
it's hard to do no matter what.
Yeah, and that's basically what they are controlling with the Surtur piece here, which will change how Surtur players play. The new Surtur deck doesn't need all of those to drop that way. Now they can play more tech and make it more difficult to interact with. They can now put down all these other pieces of crap to make it harder, because you can only benefit from 2 10-power cards. So final turn, guess what? In the other lane, instead of putting it down a 10-power card, I can put down a Gladiator and a Sage and absolutely kick your ass in that lane, while the other cards are all protected behind Armor and Cosmo. And that's going to be even more difficult to deal with. I think that this is the beginning of changes we see for Surtur. I don't think this is the final iteration we see of Surtur, but the fact that we now have a different brand of Surtur deck coming is something to pay attention to, because it will cause all of those people to rise up again in about, I'd say about a week and a half.
It's funny you said that, because that's how I used to play it too on the last turn. Instead of dropping down a typical 2 10 cost cards for like nothing, I would throw something else in there just to throw them off, which was enough to win another location if those other cards were protected. Or if I knew they were going to get Shang-Chi or destroyed, I decided to just drop another card, another Welp, just enough to beat that location where they thought they might have won or whatever the case may be. So that's a really good idea. I understand what you're saying for sure.
So there it is. You guys heard it here first. No more Surtur crybabies. Enjoy Surtur the way he is. Then we go on to the biggest change of happened to the OTA. One that I think needed to happen a long time ago. Adam Warlock. Yes. Adam Warlock was touched a couple of times. They moved him up to 5/5, thinking he would be better at 5/5. Finally, they listened and made him a 2/0, ladies and gentlemen, 2/0. And after each turn, draw a card if you're winning this location. But if you're not, don't you worry. You get +1 power.
Wow. That's a whole rework.
This is a whole rework. It makes sense for Adam Warlock, the kind of person he is in the universe. So it makes sense to give him this type of ability. I like the change. It's huge. I think now we're going to see a bunch of Adam Warlock decks. So let's see how it goes. I'm very happy about it. Super pumped. I can't wait to see what they do with other cards that need this type of love as well. Smooth Up, since you're our guest, how do you feel about Adam Warlock?
I don't really have nothing to say about Adam Warlock. I never used the card. I didn't like the old standard after each turn. If you're winning here, draw a card. I'm like, it didn't really feel useful to me, so I never really used them. But this new line here, after each turn, draw a card if you're winning here, otherwise +1 power. That makes it more interesting. He's now more playable. You don't have to worry about winning. It's still going to be beneficial, which again falls in line with who the character is. So I just read what they had here in terms of what decisions they made, and I think it's now something that I might actually play, because like I said, ramp decks is my one of my favorites. So this kind of falls into it, and it could also be helpful in a move deck if you're so inclined. So I might give him a try. Either way, I really don't. I've never been a big fan of him originally, so this is now put him in front of my interest.
Yeah, yes. Listen, I totally hear that, totally get that. And I think that was their goal, right? To get people to want to actually play this card. I just miss old Agent Venom. I wish he was still the way he was. So,
yeah, +4.
Yeah, because that could get +4 on this right now.
It made it different. Now it's
so good.
Yeah. Now it's just fast regardless.
Even the two, yeah. So, how do you feel about it?
I think like a little bit of what you said, Tech, like what you just said. You said that was their goal, right? So what Smooth Op just said was the whole point, I think, behind what Second Dinner wanted to do. Smooth Op just said, wasn't interested in the card, didn't fuck with it, threw it away, didn't like what it was, never even considered playing it. Now it changed. Now all of a sudden Smooth Op's like, I can move this into this card list, and I may be able, which is exactly the whole point of what I think they wanted to do, and I think is the whole point of the game, right? Is the whole goal of the game is to have you want to interact with all the cards and want to be able to play all the cards and all this. So the fact that they changed him from that garbage that he was to what he is now, which is intriguing and very good for Curve at a 2-0, justifiable, right? He doesn't need power. You just have to, you have time to build and I'm sorry, yes, you have time to build and get to where you need to so you can win. Or if you're not winning, guess what? They give you an extra what power, right? So you're good. You're getting something. At least you're not getting nothing. You're not playing it and getting nothing. You're getting something for your, for playing him. So I think that just brings value and it brings attention, and it's going to bring him into a lot of different card lists. I think it's going to make things unpredictable now because people are going to be dropping Adam Warlock on 3 or 2, and you're going to be like, oh, okay, what the fuck? And now it's like, yeah, he's different now. This is what it's going. It's feeding into my strategy now. You have to take in consideration Adam Warlock, something you never did before.
Right.
When Adam Warlock was played, no matter how many times they changed them to 5-0, 5-5, they tried everything. It just wasn't gonna fucking work. And the fact that they accepted this and made it the change was a brilliant move on their part.
Yeah, don't put them in negative, guys. Don't do that. Stop
Don't do that. Ooh.
Yeah. How do you feel about the change?
I think bringing him back to 2-0, because this is now a full circle journey for him, right? He was 2-0, then 5-4, then 5-5. Everyone forgot about him, and now he's 2-0 again. But with this sexy little addition added on of the +1 power. So now there's a long-term benefit to him where he's trying to get that card draw mechanic to happen in some capacity. And a lot of priority decks right now are very big, right? We see the success of Eliath of really any deck. But just these giant decks that are pushing, hey, I want to have this lead here by turn 3. Iron Patriot kind of helps cement that idea that I want to have big power out early with Gladiator and Zemo and, the mill type things. I think that this card is now all by itself with this one extra +1 power over time mechanic. This just became an S tier card in today's meta. I think we see this card implemented into a variety of different places, but the number one place I think it will do best in is the place I don't want it to be best in, and that's Scream. Because Scream is all about moving your cards out of the location that they're currently in. So you're going to be able to draw almost your entire deck every single time. Kingpin is gone. Now Adam Warlock, I think, honestly takes that position. And you're just constantly moving cards out of the lane. Spider-Man that card out of the lane. Go ahead and Stegron that card out of the lane. Arrow that card out of the lane. You're going to get the line pretty much every single game. Pretty much every single game, because this card is going to cause that kind of an issue, because you're just drawing everything you need because the lane is clear consistently. So get ready to see Clog again. Get ready to see Scream again, because I think that this card, people have wanted this card to be good for so long, and when they made it a 5/5 and 5/4, like everyone just forgot about it, and there's like, oh, Copium Cerebroness, yay, cool, kind of, sort of. We didn't have Agent Venom back then. We didn't have Bast Bounce doing what it's doing. This is all very relevant today, and I think that that's going to absolutely transform the importance of this card, and I think this is going to become a staple card. It's going to be a key tech card for a lot of people, because it creates consistency. Card draw, and I agree with, Second Dinner, very much so, that card draw is the strongest mechanic in all of Marvel Snap, because there's only 12 cards, and you draw 9 of them every game organically. We talked about it with semi-segue to TTR, that targeted card draw is something that's going to be very strong, because it increases your chance to get what you need per card by 11%. And that is worth a slot in your deck to get that extra card draw in some capacity, way, shape, or form. 100%. This is a very good card nowadays. Get ready to see it a lot.
You guys see things I don't see. When I see a card that has 0 power, I'm just like, not for me, right? You
don't see Ravonna negative?
Well, Ravonna can help it out as well. That's what I was thinking as well. But when I see these cards, usually they take up too much. Taking up a slot in the lane is like, okay, that could have been something else for me, which could help me win that lane or whatever. I usually probably put them in the lane I want to throw, but for the most part, that 0 power just not. I need every single piece of power that I can get.
It changes
workarounds, and I get it's a very good card. I 100% agree with Tech saying. Guess is saying it's for me as not a strategist as some of you guys are. It's kind of just one of those things I don't automatically see the value in, but I do like the change.
Wait. So then hold on, Mr. Ramp player. What are you playing on turn 2 in your ramp decks?
I can't really tell you off the top of my head right now. Like I said,
generally speaking, it's things like armor, right? You're putting priority points on the board or ramp points on the board, like Psylocke, right? You're trying to get your big card out faster, right?
Right. I'm trying to get as many cards out as I possibly can. Something that's going to basically feed the power, or just basically pad my approach, right?
Right.
If it's gonna be pretty low, it's gonna be something that's worth playing on 2. As high as I can get on 2 is what my goal is.
So now you've got this awesome Hydra Bob combo where you put Hydra Bob in a lane, go ahead and then put this on down behind it as your 1-2 punch, and you gain an extra card draw. And by turn 3, you're already a whole turn ahead of your opponent of knowing what combination you're going to have. So you could also do that with
win, you get a power. You know what I mean?
Exactly. If you don't win, that lane goes up to being a 5 power lane going into turn 3, which is also good. You've got those synergies. You've got a reason to take a look at Martyr if you really want to be that person. I'll say it, because Martyr now has an actual piece here for priority, because you can't use Titania in that lane because she'll fly to the other side. So exactly. So as a ramp player, the thing that makes ramp work is you need 2 pieces, big cards and things that make big cards come out. These 2 cards on turn 1 and 2 are going to make your ramp decks much better. Get ready for that.
And 3 could be your big energy, whether you play Electro, right? And then now you have your hand full of everything you need. So 4, drop a big card, 5. And if you're still winning that lane, you're getting an extra card.
Power.
So keep that in mind.
Wave is a 3/5. That's good stats.
Guys, don't listen.
Yeah,
see, you guys hear the deck here first. You guys hear the deck here.
You hear the coach up there too. You hear him, right?
He's not playing with you.
You know where to go. All right. I like that.
Speaking of big cards coming out of a deck, we have, of course, big cards coming out of a deck. I said it correctly. No
I know. I'm complimenting the segue. It was a smooth ass segue.
Okay, I don't know. Someone gave me a look like I was saying.
No.
It's the way you say it that makes it bad. Like it's not
that segue,
sir.
That segue was smooth as butter.
Thank you. There you go. See, there it is. Smooth butter, baby.
Oh, brother.
Like what?
Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, TTR. This gentleman is when your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy, draw a card with 10 power or more. This card, to me, utilizing it as little as I did, deserves the wonderful plastic. I'll give it double plastic that I think it deserves. Double plastic.
They said you can't even take that to a pawn shop. They're not going to give you nothing for that.
I like Bruce Banner over this card.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
That's a hot take.
Okay, let's do it. Let's go with it. Let's go with it for a second. Hear me out. With Bruce Banner, I control that proc if it happens or not, because I get to skip my turn or don't use my energy to give Bruce that chance. Bruce is at least hopping on the field with 12 power. Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross is 2 power. He sits on the lane at 2. Even if you play him on turn 2, you're now hoping and praying that your opponent skips energy, right? So if I do play him on 2 and I play Luna on 3, hoping my opponent gets that extra energy. Now I gave them extra energy, not to help them, but to hope that they skip. And guess what? Most 9 or 10 times, it helped them. And they play all 4 energy. So to me, Thaddeus, okay, now let's go the other way. It works. And Thaddeus pulls that big card on turn 4. I still got to wait to play it. I got to wait. To play it. I can't play it right now. I got to wait. It still happens. Now let's say I pull Thaddeus on the last turn. Am I playing Thaddeus on turn 6? Doesn't make sense to do so. Even with Dracula Dump. Doesn't make sense. Thaddeus pulling a big card. Fantastic. Who cares? It don't matter. But at least with Banner, if I play Banner on 5 and I skip turn 6 or don't use all my energy, I can get that. I can got that past the 25%, whatever possibility to get home. So for me, Thunderbolt Ross to me is a double plastic. Maybe in the future, if somebody finds a deck with him that makes sense. Because to me, right now, why would I play Thunderbolt Ross over the new Adam Warlock? Go ahead, my friend. Smooth. How do you feel about TTR?
I was gunning for this card. Like I said, I've been saying all podcasts, I am a ramp player. And I'm like, this looks like it's going to work for me. And then I heard everybody shit on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold my keys for a little bit and see how this works out. And then I'm like, because I wanted Hulk. I wanted Banner. And I thought Banner was going to be, and then everybody shit on that card too. So I still tried for him. I just didn't get it. So the fact that you saying what you're saying, Tech, and you prefer Banner over this card, I'm going to wait till the smoke clears and see what Thaddeus Ross does out there, because after I started thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, okay, you get the 10. If your opponent does skip turn, which is very much what you have to wait for this card to do anything, is if your opponent doesn't spend if it's energy, then you get a chance to pull a 10 card. Now Tech points out you have to wait to play that card. And even though it's a 10 power card, it may not, I don't know what the chances are of it being a bad 10 cost card, but still, you have to wait to play it.
Wait. And what if you got the 10 in your hand already? It starts off the game. They go my 10 power cards. Fantastic. Sandman, if you could have played Sandman earlier, maybe you could do some type of shenanigans with Psylocke on 3, Sandman on 4, and hope, but it's a lot of work for nothing. I'd rather Adam Warlock.
So I'm gonna save my keys because I ain't got very many of them. And thank you, Second Dinner, for the little lovely packages that will help me get the Jack Queen Phoenix, which everyone else hates as well. So I bet my money, I put my keys into that and got it. But, yeah,
he's better.
I think he's better. Yeah.
So for the most part, I'm gonna save my rest of my key. Jack Queen. Wait. Hold on.
Who's the guy in the movie The Joker? Like who's the guy?
Joaquin
Who's the
Phoenix.
actor?
There you
Right.
go.
Joaquin,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Joaquin. There you go.
Yes.
So I was like, am I right? Am I right? Okay. All right. All
That
right.
was the wildest one I've heard for a while.
Jack Queen. You can call him Jack Queen if you want. His name is Jack Queen.
Jack Queen.
I mean, amen.
Either way, I'm gonna hold on to the little keys that I have, and I'm gonna put it towards Redwing, and maybe that last card that we haven't talked about yet, if we're even talking about it tonight at all. So
Yes. So, how do you feel about TD here? Oh, well, matter of fact, Smooth. Give it a rating. What do you give it? Our rating system is plastic, silver, gold, platinum, diamond.
What for TDR? TDR?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say silver for now. It's just because I can't throw it in the double plastic, whatever, because I haven't experienced it yet, so I don't know.
Cino?
I'm still trying to get over the Drac Queen. Drac Queen, man. I mean,
Queen Torres.
Mashita.
Yeah, man. Come on, Drac Queen.
Exactly. Come on.
Shout out to Joaquin Torres.
Yeah, whatever, man. Get on with it, man.
Exactly.
I feel exactly how Smooth Op feels. I'm not wasting my resources on Thunderbolt. It just doesn't seem like the payoff is good enough. It's very RNG within waiting for your opponent to skip some energy. Then, like you said, if my 10 is in my hand or the 10s that I have are in my hand already, there's no point in having it. It is a 2/2, which does provide you something. It's something. Not doing it. I'm going to skip on Thunderbolt, but I do believe that it is a silver. Maybe in the future, there's something to come that will bring more value to this. I think as of right now, what we got, I don't see much value in what we got right now. And you don't really have to play this card. You can go a totally different way.
You could just use Red Hulk.
You could just use that on Warlock, like Tech said. Like it doesn't. You could use a crystal. You don't. If you're looking for the draw, this is not. It's just not enough.
Make it a one cost, and then we're talking.
Make it a one cost. Make it a, make it a one cost or something, and it just brings it up this much. It doesn't really bring it up.
We're talking a little different.
So, yeah, I'm going to give it, but I do agree with Op. I mean, I'm going to give it a silver on potential, maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe it changes into something else. But yeah, Warlock, Crystal, things like that. Just use that.
Guess your take.
So the best deck for this card, hands down, as everybody projected, was going to be Surtur. Right? Surtur has all of these 10 power cards. And if you don't have Psylocke or you don't have armor, you're always looking for another card that you could play on turn 2. Some people are playing Iron Patriot. Some people playing Sam Wilson, Captain America. This is an option. You could, throw it in that mix. So people are like, all right, let's throw it into that deck. I did so. And it was the best performing deck that had Thaddeus. I tried a couple of different options. I talked about them last week, talking about where this targeted discard is important. Cards like, Helicarrier and discard and Death and Destroy, where there's very specific targets, right? Hela, Black Knight, we tried a couple of different things. Drac Dump did okay. Wiccan did surprisingly good, where it only had... I don't touch the A, man. No, I don't play Arishem. We do not type style. we do not play Arishem as a community. We ignore that card. But there's a couple of consensuses. Number one, if you're going to play this card, it needs to be in a deck that has at least 2 10 power cards in it. The ones that had single targets did not perform well. I thought it would be really good for it. It was just not worth the slot in the deck for the single card necessity. Right. When it's not the card that you absolutely need to have, right? You need to have a Silver Surfer to make a Surfer deck run, right? You need a Cerebro to make a Cerebro deck run. You don't need random 10 power card to make deck run. You just need big card, make thing go boom, right? So when you had multiple, like in an Arishem deck or in a Surtur deck, it works. Then the week that the card is fucking here, they nerf Surtur.
Yes, exactly.
So now Surtur doesn't need to have more than 3 cards in it.
3.
And now it's a card that you potentially take out for those other pieces of tech, like I aforementioned earlier. I think that the best deck for this card just got hurt tremendously. And shot themselves in the foot. Yeah, they actually are going to hurt their sales of this card because of it. So someday this card will probably become a 2/3, or it'll get mechanically entirely reworked to, if you can draw a 10 power card on turn 6, draw it. You know, something along those lines, right? I think that they're going to see the play rate and the interactivity and the win rate of this card just tank, because now there's, in my opinion, there's pretty much no reason to play it. Save your keys. Do not get this card. Nebula's dropping down to Series 3 or whatever in a couple of weeks anyway, which they already talked. There's literally now no reason to use your keys. Blink is not worth the risk. Just don't. Just skip the card. I regret getting it. I will say it up until a couple of hours ago, it was a silver in the decks that it worked in. Now they hurt the best deck that it worked in, and now it's down to double plastic. I haven't rated a card plastic since Bruce Banner, and I don't know if I'm on the same page. That I see your point, and it's a very logical point that Bruce Banner is in your control more so. Yeah. But percentages are percentages, man, and they just always hurt at the wrong time. So I hate that. I've
won matches with Bruce. I've won nothing with Thaddeus. I've dropped from 97 to 93. Just to let you know.
I won with Thaddeus. I won games with him just as about as many as I won with Bruce.
That's fair. So maybe Thaddeus should be a Bruce alike and say 50% you don't use your energy, it turns into a Red Hulk, or 50% your opponent don't use the energy, it turns into a Red Hulk. This pulling a 10 power card or more needs to stop, because Adam Warlock is phenomenal right now. Yeah, make this a Red Hulk card. Make it like a Bruce Banner. Make it turn into Red Hulk.
Hold on. I just looked up my stats. Bruce Banner, in every game I played in my entire career with Bruce Banner, I have a 38% win rate. With Thaddeus, which has over 130 games played, I have a 57% win rate. Thaddeus, I will still take any day over.
You didn't mention Tiny how many Hulk. Games you played with Tiny Hulk.
40.
Well, see, he's okay.
40 versus 100.
There's a bigger different sample size there, my friend.
Okay. Go ahead. Let us know in the comments. Is 40 games at Bruce Banner enough to determine that you should not play him?
Wow.
Over Thaddeus? Over Thaddeus. He was ready to blow his brains out. Paul.
Yo, I'm done.
Jump off his balcony with Bruce Banner.
Tech, I will play another 80 games of just Bruce Banner to prove your ass wrong tomorrow.
Wow.
Right now.
Let me send you the Bruce deck. You know what? You send me the Thaddeus deck you think is the best. I'll send you the Bruce deck.
I can't. They just nerfed it. They just nerfed the best deck.
That's excuses. So we should play 20 games and let's see who comes out on top.
Done.
I'll watch that.
All right. So you guys hear this. I'm going to play 20 of the deck he gives me. He's going to play 20 of the deck I give him. And let's see who has the better outcome.
It's going to be painful for you, guys. Yes, it's going to be painful for you.
Are you infinite yet?
Say again?
Are you infinite yet?
No, I'm at 92. I'm like right at the same position you are.
So we're both going to suffer. It's going to be a very fun stream, guys. Make sure you tune into both.
Wait, do you work tomorrow? Do you work tomorrow? Friday? This Friday?
No, I do not.
It's Valentine's Day. Do you have plans tomorrow morning?
He's not a romantic.
I do have plans tomorrow morning. Stop it.
Okay.
I might have plans tomorrow morning. Why? You want to do it on stream together?
I was going to say, we'll do live. You versus me. Live on air. Get them both happening.
Damn,
race to infinite.
Good.
You use Thaddeus. Okay. I use Bruce. Let's go.
I have to go early in the morning. When I come... Hold on one second.
Uh-oh.
You guys talk for a second.
The coach is calling in.
I was about to say. He just got pulled off screen.
No, Darren knew. We've been planning this thing for like 30 months. He says, why do you need it?
The boss said, what? Podcast over. Come in.
Happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to the doghouse.
Oh my God, sis. What? You ain't gonna do no streaming, dude.
Oh my God.
Man, turn around.
Oh my God.
Like, hold on.
Yeah, hang on one second. When was the last time? Hold on. Wait. Time out. For our audio listeners, no joke. Tech just looked off screen, looked back at us, and then said, "Hang on, y'all. I'll be right back."
For those who said I'm not a romantic.
Okay.
See this?
Oh my God. That's it. That's it.
All right.
That's it.
He's showcasing a gift bag from what is that? Blockbuster? Like I can't tell. Like
Target. It looked like Target.
It was Target.
Let's talk about it for a second. So the reason why I left because I heard the door. My daughter's sleeping, so I didn't want her to wake up.
Oh, that's the
her mother goes crazy. So what's crazy is I ordered this a couple weeks ago, and in my area they don't deliver on Valentine's. They have to deliver the day before. So I assumed it would have got delivered earlier, but clearly 8:30, 9 o'clock is when it shows up.
I think you were thinking of me and Guess Gaming on hot butter, some soft toast, and you got us some balloons. That's what I think.
I get you cachaça from Brazil, and you know this is how I get treated. You know, man. Of course. What happened to this podcast, by the way? We were talking Marvel Snap, and then something about a doghouse, right?
Yeah, let's get back to it. So tomorrow morning I have to go somewhere early. I'll try to come back early enough, and we can have that discussion about. All right.
Now,
on to the next card, Redwing.
Sure.
Redwing is coming out this Tuesday. I highly recommend you guys try to get this card. The first time this moves, add a card from your hand to the old location. So I'm really thinking about things like Infinite, Drac Dump Move, maybe some, Surtur cards with any type of move decks. This is going to be super fun. Probably even playing cards like Heimdall, moving the whole list and getting Redwing. I think that's going to be super fun. Maybe, who knows? This might be what helps Thaddeus, right? Because now you want to get those cards to come out your deck and want to play at the last turn. Nope, I'm wrong. Don't listen to me. Redwing by itself is going to be phenomenal, especially with any type of move card, whether it be Iron Fist or, Ghost Spider Gwen, or even Heimdall on that last turn, pulling that card from your hand onto the field. I think any card that can do that, like the Dracula, is a phenomenal card. And for me, my preview rating for this is definitely going to be a double platinum. I think this might be the best card this season. Smooth Up, how you feel about Redwing?
I'm on the same page with you, man. I honestly saw this and I'm like, okay, my next favorite decks is Move, and I'm like trying to figure out how this can be applied. But like you said, once it moves, I actually misread it. I thought it could move on its own. Once it moves, then it would pull a card to the open location, but it has to be moved by another card. So it's going to be a very interesting mechanic. I think that it will be fun to use. And I love to be able to get as many cards as I can out of my hand when it comes to move decks. So it's going to be interesting to get more cards onto the playing field, especially if I have, I'm loving Madam Web right now. And if I can get him out of that spot with Madam Web and then possibly get another card into that Madam Web lane, that just which is a movable one or even not, doesn't matter, but most likely a movable one, then that would be awesome. So I like what this card can do. It's a nice little, I like the 3/3. And I'm very interested to see what I am going to try and go for this one for sure. I'm trying to get some more keys so I can put my effort into this one for sure. So I'm liking it.
Awesome. I love it. Sino, your take.
So something's going on with Sino. He's currently connecting via T-Mobile's 3G network right now.
Going to my webcam for some reason.
Well, yeah, it's routing to a new. He's trying a new microphone. It's his webcam all of a sudden, and he's going to go back into his Discord settings and undo whatever he just did. But in the meanwhile, while he does that, like this, bibbity bobbity boo, did you fix it? You good? Maybe kind of, sort of.
I tried. Does it sound different or sound worse?
Yeah, no, he's gonna keep working on that. But
it's probably picking up your camera. So click on the
it's picking up the camera microphone
on the side, like the arrow to drop down, and make sure you choose the Elgato.
Yeah, I tried.
Luckily, editing is a wonderful thing.
Wonderful.
Sound better now.
Yeah, he's back.
There you go. My God.
See, I had it on this before, so I don't know what's going on. We'll fix it afterwards. Yeah. You're gonna have to definitely read that over for me. What Redwing? What?
So the first time this moves, add a card from your hand to that old location. So if it's in the middle and it moves to the left, it will pull a card from your hand and put it in the middle location.
Okay, I like that. I like that card. I feel like it gives me Makari vibes with a little bit of move in there. You know what I mean? Like just that payoff with a card being played for no reason. You know, right? Just being played onto the field and you didn't have to do anything to get it there other than move this card. You know what I mean? Which is going to be easy, right? There's so many mechanics out there to get something to move. It's ridiculous. So I like this card. Do I have to give a rating?
Yeah,
I guess.
I'm going to give it a double gold for now, and then I'll give it a better rating next time I get to see how exactly it works. But for right now, I wanted to say platinum, but double gold for right now because I like the payoff as far as it getting something from your hand being played early. Now that might not necessarily always pay off. You know what I mean? You might get something from your hand that you didn't want to necessarily play at that moment already, put down, but. That's why I went double gold and not necessarily jumped off the bridge with platinum. So I can't wait to see how exactly it works, and then I think I can give a better assessment.
What are the chances that the card that plays is activates right away? I'm sorry.
It will activate because it will play
on reveal will automatically happen once the card comes out of your hand.
Is it activate or on reveal? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
On reveal.
This card is text, but it's text. But the card that it pulls. If it's on reveal, it will trigger. So think about this in the Surfer deck.
I understand now.
So if Surfer's in your hand and you want to play the 3-cost cards, then go ahead and pull Redwing. It puts Surfer on the field in the last turn. Yeah. Surfer goes and proc all the cards. So I think, as I said, this card, I think for me, is definitely going to be the best card this season.
Someone said it was activate. That's why I was like,
I meant on reveal. Yeah.
Okay. The on reveal card will on reveal. The ongoing will do is ongoing.
The activate will still stay chilling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because unless you do this earlier, right? You did it before. Guess how you feel about it.
So this brings life back to Aranya because Aranya, got absolutely decimated. And the purpose, I think this card was probably in mind also with wanting to nerf move bounce in the previous OTA, with also preparing for Redwing simultaneously because they want Aranya to be a card that is focused on move first, power second. And this is a card that benefits from that because it needs to be comboed. And Aranya allows you that option of playing it down on one, and then when it's time, activate it to get it to happen. I think that brings a lot of strength. I also see an Invisible Woman becoming a very popular card for the next week while people mess with this, because you put down Invisible Woman on 2, followed by the Iron Fist into Redwing in that lane. So at the end of the game, it reveals, does the actions, moves over the Redwing, then pulls it. So it creates this surprise mechanic of, these were cards that dropped on turn 3 and 4. Holy crap, this just brought out whatever. I think that Redwing opens up more deck building options than any other card this season, which is why I think it's the most exciting and one of the most hyped cards of the season for that reason is, what are you going to do with it? You can go full move, or you can build it as a package that goes into other decks. Like, I could definitely see this being in the Surtur deck, taking out a piece like Thaddeus and putting in, 1 or 2 extra little pieces to make the activate happen. To make the ability happen and drag more cards out of your hand that you didn't get to play down. You know what? I think that there's some value to that, because you want extra reasons for cards, obviously, to hit the board, but the timing of it and the package that we create to be the Redwing package of Redwing plus probably, I'd say, 2 other cards. We are always looking for those when we're deck building, right? We're always looking for a unique thing that makes our deck different, right? Do you throw in the Darkhawk package? Do you throw in the Sentry Annihilus package? I think that Redwing is going to do the exact same thing. I think it's going to create its own unique package that we see in a variety of different decks, which is why it's going to be a relatively good card. But I don't expect it to do well the first week because it's going to take a long time for us to figure out what are the best packages for it. So release week, I'm going to say it'll probably be a double gold, but in the long run, it will get smoothed out to being a really good 3 to 4 card package. And I think this ends up being at least a platinum card long term. Just be patient with it as we mess with it.
Yeah, I think this is a card that people are going to want to have. Yeah, I think this is a card that people are going to definitely want to have in their decks just because of the automatic play in it. Like you said, Guest, it's definitely going to start off high, but even get worse, like a lot better as players start to figure out the cards that are automatically worth playing when this card moves, right? So I think I think you're on the money right there for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely throwing this in the deck with She-Hulk, Infinite, and all that good stuff. Because I can't play my Infinite, no problem. Aranya, please move this Redwing. Infinite, thank you very much.
We also haven't mentioned also is the mini bailout factor of this card. And this is why I wanted to go platinum when I first thought of it. But like, depending on when you played and stuff like that, like pulling a card into a controlled lane or whatever, and then like getting a card where you want it to go and then bailing yourself out with maybe pulling, like Guest said in Asserter, pulling out a big card, like a 10 power card or something like that, and really just taking over and adding that surprise and fun aspect to it. I think that is going to be crazy about it too. You know what I mean? When getting, exactly. The memes of pulling a card and then them totally screwing over their opponent is going to, I think, fly off the chain this week. So
we also have to keep in mind this is probably why Serta got nerfed too, right? Because not only are you putting down 2 10s.
Yeah, now you're pulling a 10 from your hand.
You pull a 10 from your hand. So it is what it is. But nonetheless, this is gonna be a smooth card. And speaking of smooth, today's Black History of the Month spotlight goes to no other than Smooth Op.
Yes,
Smooth Op, welcome in.
Yeah.
Being here. That's right. That's right. What we're going to do here is spotlight those for Black History Month. Talk about you, how'd you get into the realm of Marvel Snap, and what you do, what content you bring, what stuff you streams. The floor is yours, buddy.
All right, man. If you guys didn't hear me yell at it just a few seconds ago, I'm your man, Smooth Op. And I've been playing Snap since launch and been loving the game, loving the Marvel characters. And that's what's probably got me into it for the most part. I've always wanted to play a card game and I just never found one that fit me and I could adjust to it or just enjoy. I played a little bit of the name escapes me. Huh?
Yeah, I said Solitaire.
No, not Solitaire. The game's escaping me right now, but I played a little bit of it and I was enjoying it. But for the most part, I just didn't sit well. The characters just didn't stay with me, and I eventually fell off. So when Marvel Snap came around, I just jumped on board, and the community was very supportive, engaging. I met a lot of these fine gentlemen, pretty much every single one of them straight through Marvel Snap, and it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing from there. Now I do stream it. I do stream other games as well, Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, Multiverses. I like to keep my gaming, my streaming diverse. Don't really stream Snap too much. I've kind of decided that I enjoy playing it personally on my own time rather than streaming it. But I do plan on making a return to streaming with it because I see everyone else having fun with it. And I bring my own little twist to the whole game of what do you call it? Right. Streaming this game. Everyone else, I admire their strategicness. Guest is hard grinding tech god for a reason. And I understand that they enjoy and they see this game in a different light. For me, for those of you who are on my side, you casual snappers, but still love the game, don't necessarily see all the benefits and see all the strategies, or even are great deck builders. I'm the guy for you who just want to play and figure it out and get all the way to the top, which I have not done yet. Well, how long has this game been out now? What, 3 years? 3 years?
Almost for beta, yeah.
Never been infinite?
Never been infinite. I've tech supported me every time I tell him, and every me says, "Don't worry about it. You're gonna get it this month. You're gonna get it this month." And I want to believe him, but it's not happened yet. So I'm definitely trying to turn that into a thing, and I'll get there one day, and I'm gonna do it my way.
Celebrate when he gets there, guys.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna do it my way. I don't like copy. I don't like copy index from whatever websites there are out there. All the fancy dancy tech breakdown websites. Yeah. I get it that there's definitely some way to like look into it and build decks off of that, but I just kind of have my way and I just go with it until the second dinner nerfs the card, and then my deck is trash. So it's just the way
a few times. Don't you worry.
You know, the blob. I was on my way to infinite with my blob deck. It was in sight. And then second dinner for no reason said, "Blob, you can't do that."
Well, there was a good reason. Let's be honest here.
I know, but still, I was on the cusp.
The way.
I was on the way, and I'm like, "This is the deck. I got it." And I was like, "Why?" I almost quit Snap from that, but I just took my time.
Y'all broke his heart with that.
Yeah, no, we got hair in second dinner.
It still hurts. It still hurts. But for the most part, because I was almost there, but I'm still grinding, and I hope to get streaming back to it soon. But for the most part, I'm really just enjoying playing it on the side. But that's just having fun, right? And then watching you guys put in all the hard work. So, you know, I'm your man Smooth Up. You find me on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays right here on Twitch. And Power On is powering me on all the way through. We got all our people here. And, repping forever. And we're doing the things, and I'm doing my things. Make sure you guys catch me on Twitch all those times I mentioned already, man. So snapping, Fortnite, Marvel Rivaling, all the good stuff.
Marvel Rivaling. You don't play rank on Rivals, and I get it, because somebody else told me, I think it was Bink, same thing. Like sometimes that rank make you want to do things you don't want to do. It gets you really riled up. So I totally get it. So I get it.
Saying things, thinking things. We're all on the same team. We're all in the same rank, trying to get to the next level. And you want to come say stuff to me? Yo, bro. I'm about to leave this game. I don't care.
It's dangerous. It is a dangerous game, especially rank. Rank is dangerous. All right. So, Smooth Up, thank you for that. Really appreciate that, as always. Man. We want to definitely spotlight some of the African Americans, blacks in the community. So I'm glad that you came out and said your piece. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it for having me.
We need more. So people look at you guys and they see, hey, maybe I might get into this. He's doing it. So, you guys are definitely
representation is huge. It's definitely huge. Yeah. And speaking of representation in films, the new Captain America movie is coming out with, of course, Sam Wilson, Captain America, which of course is of Black descent. And expectations for this movie, I want to hear your guys' thoughts, because I've seen some reviews, not trying to read a lot, not trying to look at anything to get spoiled. I like to kind of go into a movie with my own mindset and see how I feel. Right. But because Cap, of course, is the movie coming out, the new MCU movie coming out, and of course, Sam Wilson was the new Battle Pass season card. I want to know your guys' take, expectations-wise, on the movie. Now, if you guys seen the trailer, of course, try not to say too much for our listeners and our watchers. I don't want them to be spoiled, because some people don't watch trailers, but I just want to hear your take and how you guys feel. We'll start with Smooth Out.
Why not? We've been just starting with me.
Yeah. You say it like it's so innovative. Let's start there.
Matter of fact, Smooth, let's start with the others.
What? Wait a minute. The others? What are we fucking? The sidekick? We the
others are always here. The others.
The others. No, Black History.
You guys want to pick it up?
Other guys.
These light-skinned bros over here.
I said the others. You guys are always here. Yes. How do you feel about your expectations on Cap, man? Stop it.
Oh, that was quick.
Oh, man. All right. So, for real, though, I did not realize, because, I mean, like many of us, I'm previous to Marvel Snap, especially previous to it, I was a very casual MCU enjoyer. Like, my son loves Spider-Man, so I was, I'm what we'll call the mainstream MCU enjoyer. And I didn't even realize when this movie was announced, when they said, oh my gosh, we've got, you've seen it in the trailer, so there's no spoiler here, that Harrison Ford is in this movie and he's in a very important role with Red. And I'm like, oh, wait, this was already a character, but it wasn't Harrison Ford? Interesting.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see how this plays. Like, I want to see if there's any conversation about, maybe he looks different or something, because clearly he's not the previous actor. Like, I don't know, but I didn't even realize that. And I thought that was a very intriguing choice. And I want to do my own research and learn. And maybe they could tell us in the comments down below, why, or have a link or a reference, like why that was the case. And they went with Harrison, besides name dropping, basically.
The actor passed away.
Did he? I don't know. So that's what I was about to ask. So, okay.
Yeah.
So,
the actor passed away.
Gotcha. All right. So then very necessary to say the least. So got it. But I don't, that's the thing. Like like I said, I'm a casual MCU enjoyer, and I did not know that. So going into this movie, the only thing I know is, the end of the Avengers saga and the passing of the Shield, and now with it's in Sam's hand. I did not watch the Disney Plus series, for example, so I don't have that as a reference.
Okay. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't have that as a reference. I'm curious to go into this movie as someone who didn't watch it. Am I going to be able to enjoy it as someone who did? And I think that's a very important statement for a lot of people who go into these movies nowadays, because they feel like I have to know everything that went into it. Like I know it's not Marvel, but like Sonic had this recently with Sonic 3, where they had the Knuckles little mini series that happened in between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. I didn't watch it. My son did. We both watched the movie, and we both enjoyed it exactly the same, not knowing what happened.
That's a good call. That's the same thing.
So I saw a scene from the Knuckles joint. I asked my son, I said, "Oh, this is going to be from the new movie?" He said, "No, that's part of the series that they got over here." And I said, "What?" And then we watched the movie. I didn't feel like I missed anything.
Exactly. And the same thing is going to happen in the future as well with Batman. Because there's the Penguin series right now. Is it relevant for you to know what's been going on in the which either way, you should watch the Penguin series, because it's absolutely amazing. Oh my God, it is amazing. Just as a piece of art, it is amazing. But I'm curious, with the next Batman movie, will it be necessary to know that? That's one of the things I'm looking most forward to, is seeing, am I able to enjoy this movie as a casual enjoyer of MCU, or was this pigeonholed to those who are the die-hard MCU of all formats fans? That's the number one thing I'm looking forward to assessing with this movie, because I have not watched the series. And does it make me want to go watch that series, to go back and say, wow, that was really good. Let me see how, Mackie did in this role for this series, and then rewatch the movie a second time too, now knowing all of this. Like, that's the relationship I want to see with the movie more than anything else. I'm excited for that.
Okay. I've seen the series, but I haven't seen the movie. And for what I saw in the trailer of the movie, there are things that were in the series. So I don't know if it's going to be essential that you see the series to see the movie, but I know there are things that are probably in the movie that you probably aren't going to know about if you haven't seen the series. You know what I mean? Because there might be, it might be in reference to what happened there with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, just take the new Falcon, right?
Well, yes,
Torres.
Yeah.
He
was
came
in
from
the series. Yeah, he was in the series. That's where he showed up at. So yeah, I get there will be, that's why I said both, because there will be little things that are referenced that you probably won't know is a reference, but I don't know if it'll lose you. You know what I mean? I don't know if it'll
affect you. Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean? You might still be in tune to what's going on in the movie, but just know that there are going to be little references that you probably won't understand too much. Like, I feel like Thunderbolts, the movie that's coming out, it definitely, being that it has a U.S. agent in it, it's definitely going to have references to Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah. Like, you definitely want to make sure you watch the series to see Thunderbolts, because Thunderbolts is going to have a lot. Thunderbolts and Black Widow are going to have a lot of stuff that reference, that they're referencing to. And I haven't seen Black Widow, so now I got to go back and watch Black Widow. You know what I mean? So like, I think it's at both of the aspects. I don't know if it'll lose you in the story, though. I don't know. Well, I haven't seen it yet, but hopefully it doesn't.
You can watch Hawkeye as well to get information on the White Widow. So that's in that movie.
Okay. So I guess I think it's a little bit of a variation of everything. You know what I mean? So it's you probably do have to see maybe there's Easter eggs if you watch the series and it just gives you those Easter eggs in the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you'll be lost watching the movie.
Right. And most movies kind of explain a little bit of certain things before you see it. Because even with the Sonic, like you mentioned, even though we didn't watch that series, Knuckles kind of explained there's a guy that's protecting this, X, Y, and Z. Exactly. So they kind of gave us a brief history so we won't be lost when we see him. What are you doing with this? So I think that makes sense. Smooth, how do you feel? What's your expectations on the film?
I think they're going to do a good job in terms of trying to get people caught up so they're not totally lost what's going on. But they definitely expect you to have watched the previous stuff, which is going to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, everybody's pretty much already said terrible things about this movie, not expecting much, that they're trashing the trailer. And there's been a bunch of rewrites and a lot of recasts and lots of stuff. So it's already in the mess category. I personally want to see this movie do very well. I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think I'm one of the few people who like Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
The show was good,
I thought it wasn't bad. It wasn't.
I thought it was great. It was grounded. It gave us perspectives on what happened to the regular people during the blip, which I think is something that you want to see.
We should want to see.
You want to see how people lived after the blip. What was really happening? And people here keep saying Thanos is right. Thanos is right. This show tells you why people thought that, because the world was a different place after the blip. And that whole situation between Falcon and the Winter Soldier and him coming into becoming Cap and the reasons as to why he was a little hesitant. I thought that show was fantastic.
So Cap and giving it back and then being Cap.
Right. We don't want to go too much. Again, you want to watch it, but for the most part, people, are really too happy with that show because I feel like it was just so grounded. People just wanted to see a superhero movie with superpowers doing super things, but it was a very grounded movie with regular people, and people just weren't ready for that in the Marvel universe.
Action spy-packed movie.
Right. So now we get Brave New World, and we're getting the same type of feedback. There was a scene where they showed off some of the fight between Cap and another gentleman, and Jock Queen coming in doing his Falcon thing for the first time, and people were like, "What is this? This is not great at all." I think it's the opening scene that they're going to be doing that. But again, it wasn't superhero stuff doing superhero things. It was regular people fighting. So they were like, I don't want to see that. I feel like this is going to be boring. And just because it's going to be grounded, like it's political, it's a government level. Yeah. It's not galaxy Earth ending level. It's not street level. It's government level. So there's going to be a lot of talking and a lot of,
politics,
reasons for Mackie or Sam Wilson to be Captain America. This movie has to prove that Sam Wilson is able to lead superheroes. We got to believe in this guy like we believe in Batman, right? Yeah, right? We got to believe in this guy like we believe in Batman. And if this movie does not succeed at us making Sam Wilson the next, or believe in Sam Wilson, this is why they brought the Red Hulk in there, for Sam Wilson to say, okay, I can lead, I can make great decisions, I can lead superheroes, because that's where I have to be if I'm going to be Captain America. So put me against Red Hulk and see how I do. But if we don't get that, hey, underdog feeling, I want this guy to succeed type of vibe from this movie, it's going to fail. Right. So I really hope that they can achieve that. I believe Marvel can do it. I just hope that people are ready to sit down and watch these regular people try to achieve that role. They got to really play under the underdog. So I'm excited to see what happens. A lot of people are still trashing on it. It's got 50% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. I think that number will grow as it releases tomorrow, but we'll see what they do, man. And I'm hoping for the best with this right now. I've been paying attention to this freaking movie, right? I've been paying attention to this because I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I was hoping that, it did better than that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Good calls. I love everyone's expectations. Yes, go see the film. I did see it already, so I'm not going to speak on it. Myself and Prashawn will be doing a review on it, so make sure you guys check that out. And guys, again, thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. Smooth Out. Thank you for being here.
Let's go.
Again, guys, cannot wait
having me, yo,
for the next episode.
Later, y'all.
Yeah.
Bye. Everyone say it with me. Joaquin.
Joaquin. Joaquin. I think it's better than whatever his regular name is, man. Joaquin.
Jacqueline.
Yeah, man.
Jacqueline.